Up next here, we have the wonderful Danielle Andrews. She is a health and wellness coach, a birth doula, an author, amongst other things. And she is going to be talking to you about wellness in 2021, especially important after the year we've had and the year ahead. Especially important topic for us to have. So, Danielle, I'm going to hand the mic over to you. Go ahead and take it away. You are on mute, by the way. Good. There you go.
Yes, I got it.
Great.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kelly. And good afternoon, everyone who is here on the webinar and in Facebook land. So my name is Danielle. I am a health and wellness coach. I am, like as Kelly said, I am a birth doula. I am a nurse by vocation. I am an author. I wear many, many hats, but at the end of the day, I am a health advocate. My mission and goal is to help women be their best selves, that physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, be your best self in all that encompasses. So in a way, with my clients who I serve at this time right now, I'm serving clients who are dealing with more gynecological issues, who are dealing with different things within their body and coaching them through these things like miscarriages and coaching through things like abortions and stillbirths or the trauma of having a birth after having multiple miscarriages, or just dealing with different body conditions that are making being or identifying as a woman a little more difficult, right? So that's who I work with. But what do I mean as a health and wellness coach? It's such a catchy phrase, catchy word. A health and wellness coach is, we talk about way more than just your diet and go to the gym. It's way more than diet and going to the gym. So erase that from your mind right now if you think that that's what we're going to talk about. That's not what we're going to talk about. But in short, health is your state of being. I am healthy, I'm disease-free. Health is your state of being. Wellness is your way of living. And that's why I say I'm a health and wellness coach, because health is we want to get you in line with your health, but we also want to make sure that the way you are living is positive and great and purposeful and fruitful and lucrative and productive and sexy and provocative, all for you, right? So that encompasses all different kinds of things. That encompasses your emotions. That encompasses your stress, your sleep, anyone and anything that you encounter. It encompasses your anxiety, your relationships. And when we say relationships, we don't just mean your intimate relationships. It also means your family, your friends, your career, your professional relationships. How do all those things play into your stress and into your sleep and into all those other things? So everything that affects your overall health and wellness, because at the bottom line is that anything that stays unresolved in your body, or anything that stays, unresolved in your life, will manifest itself somehow in your body. It absolutely will. Bad relationships manifest themselves in your body. Being overworked and overtired manifests itself in your body. Being under extreme stress manifests itself in your body. Being in a state of confusion all the time, being indecisive, unable to make a decision, manifests in your body. And there's so many different ways and tools and research that has shown that these things come up in some way. And oftentimes it's maybe something else that we should have taken care of a little bit ahead of time. I should have got that blood sugar checked. I should have got that high blood pressure checked, but I didn't, because I didn't make that a priority for myself. And then in the midst of that, I started getting stressed out at work. So what did that do? Blood pressure goes through the roof, right? So all of those things. So what is your responsibility as a human being? What is your responsibility to your health and your wellness? That's what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to talk about how you can partner with your healthcare providers, with your med squad, with these people that you hire, that you pay, that you give good insurance money to do the best thing. And I'm going to give you to do the best thing for you. But then also, what are some things that you can do to take ownership of your health and wellness? Because if it's one thing that 2020 taught us, is that health is your ultimate state of well-being. That health, if your health is under any constraint, if there is any moment where you think that where your health is in danger, that can immediately halt your entire universe. just like the whole world came to a screeching halt the minute coronavirus came out into the world, is the same way that happens in your life. So that's things that we want to look at today. And again, as a nurse, I have seen more than my fair share of beautiful, purposeful, vibrant, amazing individuals, men and women who have perished because they have not made their health, their state of living, a priority in their own life. Um, and that's what we had to learn how to do in 2020. We had to learn how to do that. We had to learn, when the world stopped a year ago, literally like a year ago from today, when the world stopped, we had to figure out, what in the Sam Hill am I supposed to do? What in the hell? How am I supposed to run my business? How am I supposed to manage my children? How am I supposed to virtual school? What? I'm supposed to be the lunch lady and the teacher, and I'm supposed to work and be on a Zoom for 8 hours a day, and I have to do my own thing, and I'm not feeling too great, and I have this relationship with my partner, and how does that work? And now I have emotions that are rising up in me because I'm locked in the house all day, every day for weeks at a time. I can only go to Target and to the grocery store, and what else am I supposed to do? Because now I'm on lockdown, and you had nothing else to do but adjust. And your health and wellness was being adjusted. And we had to figure out how to do that. So because if we ignore these things, it's so important that we discuss this, because if we ignore these things, you leave the door wide open to not to perish. That sounds like such a bad word, but you leave the door wide open to have attacks against your own health and your well-being, your mind, your spirit, your energy, and your physical body. And it's so important. And I say that, and I share with you very quickly just a story about a very dear friend of mine. Had a very dear friend of mine who passed away early on at the age of 33. She had a lot of going on. There was financial stress. There was work stress. She was going back to school. She was paying for a home. There was relationship drama. There was all different things going on. And we, as friends, people were talking to her and saying, please, let us help. Let us help. Let us make yourself a priority. Go to the doctor. See what this is talking about. And she kept saying, I'll put it off. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Until one day she didn't show up for work. And when she didn't show up for work, what happened? Her mother got a phone call, and her mother had to go to her home. And when her mother got to her home, she found her on the side of the bed, dead, at 33 years old. A beautiful, vibrant, loving, amazing human being, gone in an instant. And I don't say that to scare you. I just say it as reality, that it can happen, that the world can mount up so much that we don't know what to do, that we don't know how to, and we don't make ourselves priority, that it can come back and stop us dead in our tracks. And sometimes we don't stop until it's too late, and there's nothing else that we can do. So what can you do? So here's some things that we can do. First of all, you have your healthcare team. You have your doctors, your nurses, your nutritionists, your therapist, your trainer, all these wonderful people, right, that you love and you have in your corner. Utilize these folks. Make them work for the money. Just like, listen, they're going to get paid. Make sure you are making them work for the money in these visits. But what's most important, if you don't take anything else from me today, is that when you are talking with your healthcare team and your providers, as much as they care for you, as much as they are doing what is best for, will do what is best for you, it is important for you to come to them with a spirit of honesty and transparency. So important. That's your job. Your job is to be open and honest and really, truly say what is going on. And as women and as individuals, who are identifying as women, we have to say, I don't feel good. I am tired. I am weary. I am happy. I am joyful. I'm amazing. I'm horny. I'm sexually deprived. I don't know tell what you are feeling. All right. Say it. Say the thing. I say to my clients all the time, fine is not an answer. You're not allowed to tell me you feel fine. The fine is a cop out. And we all know it's a cop out, right? Fine is a cop out. Don't say you're fine. You can be anything but fine. And have them work and work through what's going on. So as you go through your day to day, and as you go through things that are happening with you, and you feel these aches and you feel these pains or you feel these stressors. We've been talking, so many women, our previous presenters were talking about what you feel in your heart, what you're feeling intuitively. All of that factors into your health and wellness. When you're feeling those rumblings in the pit of your stomach, when your heart hurts, when the tension in your back is so strong that you can't even rest your shoulders, when all those things are happening, what areas in my life need attention? Is it my job that's causing this? Is it a toxic relationship? Am I not giving myself enough self-care? What do I need to do? And just as Kendall shared with us earlier today about what makes your heart sing, when those find those things that make your heart sing, yes, no to those things. This is something that's going really well. And this is something I want to continue doing because it's for my own health and wellness. My body appreciates this, right? So we want to do that and dig into those uncomfortable areas of your life, because I know it can seem very scary, because there's the element of the unknown. What do you do? Oh no, I don't want to go to the doctor, I might get some crazy diagnosis. But would you rather go in and know and be able to create a plan to work towards a healing, because I've seen people come back from amazing things, to have healing? Or would you rather live in the unknown and perish? It seems like a no-brainer to me, but it can be very hard. And the thing is, you can always make money back. You can always make more product. You can always go back to school another time, but your family only gets one you. You only get one you. And if you're not good stewards, we're not good managers of this body that we have, my sisters, we're not going to be here to do this beautiful work. And we need you to be here to do the beautiful work, right? So, some things that you need to do, all right? Examine the areas of your life. I'm gonna give you 7 quick steps and I'm out of here, right? So, examine those areas of your life, your home, your career, your emotions, your spiritual space, your relationships. Are your spiritual practices working for you? Are your relationships healthy? Do you have boundaries in place? Are they fostering growth? Do you feel safe in your relationships? Do you feel toxic in your relationships? Those kinds of, even with your career, do I like where I am in my job? Do I want to work in a different department? Maybe do I need to be in a different team? Do you want to go for that promotion? What is it? Let's look at those things and what is examining and what do you feel? What is resonating in your body when you feel these things? So you're going to examine the areas of your life. 2, you're going to identify your needs for support. So who do you need? Pick your squad. Do you need to add some people onto your squad? Do you need to cut some people from your squad? If you have a doctor that's not listening to you, why are you here? There's 500 million bazillion other doctors. We can find somebody else. And that's what also I help my clients to do. We can find somebody else if they're not doing right by you, right? So look at that. Evaluate who else do you need? Do I need a therapist? Do I need a nutritionist? Do I need just an accountability partner? Do I need a girlfriend that I can call and say, hey girl, let me just tell you about my day. And she's just going to be my sounding board and all she does is listen. Maybe that's what you need. Who do you need in your corner? A friend, a partner, anyone, a trainer? Who is it? Then number 3, get creative. Get creative. Y'all, this is so much more than saying, I'm going to go to the gym and get on the treadmill and I'm going to get on the elliptical and I'm going to stay here and I'm going to do the Stairmaster for 45 minutes. No, it's more than that. Take up a sport. Take up a new hobby. Maybe getting into maybe if you're having trouble with weight loss, maybe it's not the physical reason you're having trouble with weight loss. Maybe it's psychological. Maybe you emotionally eat. Maybe you're eating because you want to block out some things that happened in your childhood. So there's nothing to do with you going to the gym, but it has everything to do with you releasing old baggage. Who knows, right? Get creative and see what's going on. There's more than just going to the gym and eating kale. My God, Jesus, right? So there's more than that. And then I want you to enlist your support. Get with those people, communicate your need, and let those people know that you need help and get creative with how you can use them. Case in point, and I'm out of here. I know I got 1 minute. Ready? Your HSA card. Golden. You want to know why? I know a woman who got a Peloton with her HSA card. Ask me how. I'll tell you about that. If you were my client, I can tell you. But anyway, you can do these different things because if it's medically necessary for you, there's different ways for you to pay for different services. If it's medically necessary for you're stressed out beyond belief, you going to Massage Envy or Hand and Stone, wherever, You can use your HSA card for that. There's a lot of little life hacks and things. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different things. Get creative so you can take advantage of different services. Check with your local hospitals, your local community centers to see what free things they may be offering, or your city, your district. They may be offering mental health services and things of that nature for you to be able to tap into. There's all kinds of resources and different support that you can enlist on this journey. Then be flexible, hun. Be flexible. Remember that this is going to vary. Things are going to change. Okay. So you may have to go back to this and say, hey, this didn't work for me. I'm going to try something else. That's okay. Just go back to the drawing board. All right. You may pick something that doesn't necessarily agree with your body. That's okay. You can go back and try something else. Maybe you need to invest more in yourself. Maybe you need to do a little less than what you're doing right now. Right. Think about all these things. All these play a big part into your success. And maybe you want the Peloton, but you can't afford the Peloton. So you know that there's a gym going out of business. So you want to go and get an old bike from them and say, hey, are you selling your equipment? Oh, yes, they do those things. Anyway, then you're going to move forward with your plans, execute your plan, and always give yourself a chance to reevaluate. Come back to it and reevaluate it periodically, whether that's quarterly, monthly, semi-annually, whatever you feel is best for you. Come back to your plan and reevaluate it. Where am I now? What's my progress? What's working well for my life? How do I feel? How does my body feel? What are the results? Are my labs coming down? Is my doctor pleased? Am I pleased? Do I just look better in my clothes and I feel like, yes, I'm snatched and I'm good? Yes. Awesome. Use your own measuring. Make sure you have a measuring tool for this. All right. And again, the thing about all this with the pandemic is you got to get creative. That's the one thing we learned, is that your box gets pulled out from underneath you and you got to get creative. All right. So utilize all your apps, your virtual apps, your community groups, your Facebook groups. All those things are here to give you support so you can continue to be well and healthy during this pandemic season, which we hope is coming to a close shortly. But I know it's a lot of information, but I hope that it was helpful and encouraging to you. And I will let Kelly come on back so we can, yeah.
Oh, Danielle, you always give me life. Every time I hear you talk, I like feel rejuvenated. This is so good. Like, I'm pumped. I'm like, okay, health, wellness, let's do this now. Cool, everyone who's here with us, it's Q&A time. Put your questions in the chat. If you're watching in Facebook, put them in the comments. If you have a question you want to ask Danielle out loud, you can raise your hand if you're here on Zoom with us, and I can actually unmute you and you can ask Danielle yourself. So get your questions in there for Danielle. I do have a question for you to start us off, Danielle. Like, a lot of times we think, like, at least this, I can only really speak for myself about this, but I kind of do more like a triage approach to my health, where I'm like, I'm focused on like what's wrong with my health. And then when I'm actually feeling good, I kind of ignore my health. So what recommendations do you have to kind of stay consistent with focusing on your health, even in those times where things are like going smoothly in your health?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think when you, as one of our other panelists talked earlier today, is when you're just doing your daily check with yourself. You know, how am I feeling today? And in keeping, a big part of my life is also like meditation and prayer and things like that. And that's also, meditation allows me to check in and quiet down and hear my body, feel my body. How do I feel? Do I feel loose and limber? And, you know, or am I all tight and stretched out? You know, is getting out of that position like, oh God, you know, to try to get up off the floor. So I think having a daily check, kind of, you know, whether that's through your prayer time or when you have your quiet time and you're in the shower and your things, you know, kind of checking in with yourself of, how do I really feel today? You know, and also, you know, thinking about it, when someone asks you, how are you doing? We already have an automatic response program. You're like, I'm good, I'm well. Sometimes it's a total lie, you know, but give yourself the 3 seconds to say, well, how am I today? Okay, how am I really feeling today? But when you are feeling great, it's staying inconsistent in those things that make you feel great. You know, I think, again, as Kendall talked earlier, it's about staying consistent in that practice. So as you feel great, sometimes we taper off, and then all of a sudden, then it's not until you realize, oh, my back is hurting again, oh, I should get back to stretching every morning, that you go, oh, okay, So it's maintaining those things that do make you feel really good and that are giving you the results you need and staying
Yeah.
consistent in that.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
recognizing those things like, oh, that's the secret sauce that actually
Right.
helps me feel better.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. For me, meditation was the answer to having sleep problems, was meditating at night. I realized that if I meditated at night before I went to bed, I was able to sleep peacefully through the night because I
Mm.
was able to clear my mind. But in the nights I didn't, I'm tossing and turning and, waking up angry and things like that and like kicking the dog on the way out to bed. Like, but it's but it's having taking note of the things that really feel good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Taking that like survey, that check in of yourself for
Absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm curious for you personally here. Actually, let me check the Facebook, make sure there's no questions.
Mhm.
How has your like building a relationship with your health and wellness, how has that made you a better coach?
Oh, it's everything. It having to go through my own personal struggles. And you know what? I will quote the great B. Arthur from Golden Girl and from an episode of the Golden Girls. Okay. Um, she said one time in an episode to a doctor who mistreated her, right? There was an episode where she was very sick and no one could diagnose her. She had been from doctor to doctor to doctor to doctor, Dorothy, right? And then she went to this one doctor and he dismissed her. He just told her, "You're going through a midlife crisis, dye your hair, take up jazzercise," kind of thing. And she ran into him again later on uh 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 at a restaurant, and she said to him at one point, I she said, I wish that doctors would all get very sick, and at one point that you would have to be the patient, because it would make you much more compassionate. And she's like, and even still, out of everything I've been through, I still wish you a better doctor than you were to me. And I remember seeing that when I was before nursing school and all that kind of thing, and then having my own struggles. And that was that same thing of like, when you've been on the other side of the table, you know what it's like. You know the fear of sitting there, waiting for results. You know the anxiety of the what if. And God forbid, don't go on WebMD because you'll go from having a cut on your hand to having a lipoma and having to get your hand amputated in all of 5 minutes, right? And so it's like, don't WebMD yourself to death. But me being sick, me having my own personal struggles makes me compassionate and gives me more substance to deal with my clients because I can understand that silence of, sitting there like, I don't know what to do, or the confusion of, am I making the right decision? None of these really feel good, but I this is what I have.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you're faced with a decision that's not, it's not what you want. You want the ultimate cure all, but in this moment, these are the options that you have. And you have to figure out what to do.
Yeah. And that brings me back to your like get creative about it too. Like if there's something
Correct.
missing, like how can we find a way to kind of support that thing that feels missing from the options
Absolutely.
on the table? Yeah.
Absolutely. And that made me also explore when I went through my own and still, go through my own personal health struggles. I got creative. I had to say, well, what's the holistic version of this? I don't want just antibiotics. Give me what are the other options? What are natural options for this? So I had to start doing my own research and my own study on different things, Eastern medicine and things like that to figure out what felt best for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
I had a patient, a colleague one time who she had stage 3 cancer at 30, not even 30 years old, but came back out of that, decided now I'm not doing chemo, but went on a totally holistic, totally vegan, very raw, I mean, wheatgrass shots every other hour in her life. It was a very intense kind of thing, but brought her body back out of cancer because that was how she desired to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And she took it into her own hands and said, I'm going to do what I need to do.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
that's like sort of the magic of choosing what feels good to you in your health journey too,
Absolutely.
because like that might not work for somebody else because somebody else might be like, this is nonsense. But for that individual where it really feels like this is the thing that's going
Mhm.
to help me the most, there's power to that. And like
Mhm.
that can actually help you through it when you find the thing that like just really feels good to you.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Because you also have to have you have to believe it. If you don't believe your doctor is really doing the right thing for you, they could hand you the cure for cancer and you're not going to want to take it because you don't trust them and you don't believe in the process. You have to trust the
Mhm.
process and trust what your body's leading you to do. So
Totally.
it's very intuitive as well. As much as as much as we try to make everything very pro medicine, there's a very intuitive portion to that too. So that's what we try to do together with my clients is fuse the two together and meet in the middle. So that way you feel like you're in a happy place. Or if that means one way or the other, we do that. But as long as the client can come to a happy medium of what they want.
Amazing.
Mhm.
Well, perfect segue. If any of you want to connect with Danielle here, her information is in the workbook on page 12, specifically for Danielle. You can connect with her there. Also, if you're thinking, how do I do what Danielle does? How do I become a health and wellness coach? Take my struggles and help other people move through them themselves. Coach training, everybody. That's my recommendation for you. We are currently in enrollment for the next round of IGC coach training. So if you want to talk to Katie or Liv about that, I'm going to pop a link here into the Zoom chat. And you can book a call with Katie or Liv to see if that is the next best step for you to maybe step into something similar to what Danielle's doing, helping people with their health and wellness. Cool. We are going to take a couple-minute break. Thank you, Danielle, for being here and sharing your insight about health and wellness. I'm actually going to be leading the next talk at the top of the hour about using your intuition as a coach, my favorite topic of all time. So we'll take just a quick little 2-minute break. Everybody take a breather and then come on back. I'll see you here in just a minute. Thanks, Danielle.